Hello everyone, welcome to E-Door to the World. This is Alex.
And I'm Rachel. Today we are talking about some of the most beautiful places in the world.
That's right. We will talk about our favorite places to travel, where we want to travel, and what we like to do when we travel. For example, when I travel, I only like to plan a little bit, and I prefer to spend a lot of time just exploring. When I went to Japan last year, my favorite times were just walking around, going into stores, and trying restaurants that looked good. Rachel, do you plan a lot when you travel?
Well, it depends on where I go and whom I go with. Usually, I will search for the famous places to visit, like museums, parks, or a market.
I think that's pretty smart. I think it's good to have a list of places, but it's also good to leave time to relax. What's your favorite place you've ever been to?
I think my favorite place is Hawaii. The beaches there are so beautiful and the weather is warm and sunny. I love swimming in the ocean where you can see many sea turtles and watching the sunset. The people there are also very friendly.
That sounds really, really nice. I really want to go to Hawaii someday. For me, I really loved going to Japan. The nature there is really beautiful, and I liked going somewhere where the rules are really clear and easy to follow.
I totally understand that. Do you leave the city to hike or do outdoor activities when you travel?
Yes, I really like hiking and being in nature, so I always try to leave the city. It helps me feel calm and happy, and I think it's really relaxing.
That's great. I like hiking too, but not if it's too hot. I enjoy walking near the beach more.
That sounds really nice. I think walking by the beach is really, really relaxing. And you can listen to the waves and feel the wind and just kind of people watch. It's a very fun place to be.
Yes, and sometimes I collect seashells or just sit and watch the sunset.
That sounds like a nice way to go and spend your time when you're on a trip. Everyone has their own travel style. It's very common to ask people if they prefer the mountains or the ocean, but it's an almost impossible question for me. I really love them both.
Right. Some people like adventures and some like to relax. All right, let's start our podcast today. Alex, what article did you bring today?
I brought an article about 28 amazing places around the world. It's a list of beautiful places, some of them natural, some of them man-made, that you can travel to. Have you ever been to any of the places on the list?
I have been to the Terracotta Army in China, 兵马俑. It was amazing.
Really? Tell me more about it. I have never been there before.
I used to work in Xi'an, and that's where the Terracotta Army is. The statues are so big and detailed. There are thousands of them, and each one looked different. It's hard to believe they were made over 2,000 years ago.
That sounds incredible. I've only seen pictures of them, but one day I really want to go.
Seeing them in person is very special. The history and the size of the place are really impressive. I feel like going back in time. How about you?
I have been to number 9, Chichen Itza in Mexico. I went to Chichen Itza when I was a teenager with my family, and Chichen Itza was a famous ancient city in Mexico. It was built by Mayan people over 1,000 years ago, and now it is a really popular place for people to go and visit. The ancient temple there is really cool, and when you go there, there are a lot of wooden statues you can buy. In Canada, I actually have a chess set that looks like Chichen Itza. Have you been there before?
No, I haven't. I've never been to Mexico, but I really want to go someday. It sounds like a fun place with a lot of history. I think the Mayan culture is very interesting, and I'd love to see the temple at Chichen Itza in real life. And maybe try some Mexican food too.
For people from Canada and the USA, Mexico is a very common place to travel. Most people I know here in Taiwan have gone to Japan or Korea before, but they haven't been to somewhere like Mexico. But for people from Canada, many people have never been to anywhere in Asia before. All right, Rachel, we have talked about where we have been before, but how about we talk about where we want to go? But before that, what do you want when you travel? Do you want a loud, exciting city? A quiet, nature-filled place? And do you like traveling alone? Or do you think traveling is better with friends and family?
Well, I think I like traveling with my family and friends more than traveling alone. For me, traveling means finding a comfortable hotel and then exploring a new place. It doesn't matter if it's a city or the countryside, because both have their own kind of beauty. What about you?
I think both are great. I love nature, but I also love experiencing different cultures. But I definitely think traveling alone is my favorite. I like the freedom of going wherever I want, whenever I want. But some of my favorite travel memories are still ones I have with friends.
Now that we know what kind of place we like, what place in the article seems exciting to you?
I would love to see the Taj Mahal in India. The article says it is almost 400 years old, and I really can't understand how people could make something so big and beautiful at that time. Ever since I was a child, I have thought that the Taj Mahal is extremely beautiful. It looks like nothing in Canada or in Taiwan, and I really want to see it. What about you?
I want to see the Northern Lights, which is also called Aurora Borealis. I think they are one of the most beautiful things in nature. I've only seen them in pictures or videos, but they look so magical, like colorful lights dancing in the sky. It would be amazing to see them with my own eyes one day.
Yeah, the Aurora Borealis is really, really beautiful.
By the way, you live in Canada. I heard you can see the Northern Lights there. Have you ever seen them?
I actually have never seen them. I am a terrible Canadian because usually you need to drive north to see the Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights, and sometimes the weather has to be just right. But in the last couple years, there have been some days where my friends could watch the Northern Lights from their houses. They didn't even need to leave their neighborhoods. So I was very, very jealous when I heard that. I want to see them one day too.
I see. I hope we both get a chance to see them in the future. It's definitely on my travel list.
All right, Rachel, I have a question about your bucket list. If you had 7 days and 200,000 NTD, where are the top 3 places you would go from this article? Only you can go. And don't worry about your family. This trip is only for you.
Wait, what did you say? Bucket list?
Yeah, bucket list. In English, when someone dies, you can say they kicked the bucket. A bucket list is a list of things you really want to do before you die or kick the bucket.
在英文里 bucket list 指的是你的人生清单或者是愿望清单，也就是你一生中最想完成的事情清单。这个说法来自一个俚语 kick the bucket， 意思就是去世过世，所以 bucket list 原本意思就是说在你踢开水桶，在你过世之前你想做的事，也就是死前一定要完成的梦想。For me, if I had 7 days and 200,000 NT dollars, other than Northern Lights, I would first choose Great Barrier Reef in Australia. It is one of the most amazing places in the world, and I really want to visit. It is the largest coral reef on Earth, full of colorful fish, sea turtles, and other incredible marine life. One of the bad things about the reef is that I can go snorkeling or diving to see the beautiful coral and swim with the tropical fish. The water is so clear and blue. It will feel like swimming in a giant aquarium. Besides being fun, the Great Barrier Reef is important for nature. It helps protect the coast and is home to thousands of sea creatures. Unfortunately, climate change is damaging the reef, so I want to see it before it changes too much. How about you?
Well, I won't choose the Great Barrier Reef, but it definitely would be amazing. So I will choose Machu Picchu in Peru. I love going to places where people used to live. In this city, we see things change all the time. There are new buildings, new roads, and people driving new cars. So it is nice to go somewhere where nothing has changed for hundreds or thousands of years. I like to imagine people living there. And even though they were very, very different from me and you, I think they were probably also very similar to us in other ways too. So that is my first choice. What is your second choice?
Well, I think my second choice is the Grand Canyon in the United States. It is one of the most spectacular nature wonders in the world, and I dream of seeing it one day. If I'm brave enough, maybe I'd love to try walking across the famous Grand Canyon sidewalk, a glass bridge that lets you look straight down into the canyon. It would feel like floating in the air. Visiting the Grand Canyon would be an amazing experience. It's not just about the views, it's about feeling the wonder of nature and learning how Earth history shaped the incredible place. What is your second place?
I want to see the Banaue rice terraces in the Philippines. There is something really beautiful about seeing the fields in these big, weird shapes. They remind me of the tea fields in Alishan, and it reminds me that the places where we get our food are actually really special and beautiful. All right, so what is your last choice?
My last choice is the Great Wall, 万里长城. It is one of the most amazing man-made wonders in the world. It's not just a wall. It's a giant dragon made of stone that winds across mountains for thousands of miles. I can walk on the same stones that ancient soldiers walked on over 2,000 years ago. I want to touch the old bricks and imagine how people built such a huge structure without modern machines. The views from the wall must be incredible too. What is your last choice?
And my last choice is the Colosseum in Italy. Growing up, I loved the movie Gladiator, and the history of the Colosseum is interesting to me. People used to fight there, and people would watch it like we watch baseball or basketball now. Although I am very happy we don't do that today, I think it is important to remember the bad things that people do, because it helps us know what we should do instead. Also, the Colosseum is just a super cool place.
I hope we can complete everything on our bucket list.
Me too. But before we finish our bucket lists, we need to finish today's podcast.
Alright, Alex, do you have 3 words to share from today's podcast?
I do. Here we go. Our first word is man-made.
Man-made, 人造的.
The second word is ancient.
Ancient, 古老的.
And our third word is destination.
Destination, 目的地.
For example, Italy is a great destination where you can see many ancient things that are man-made. All right, it is time for our discussion question. So here it is. Where do you want to travel and why? Write down your answers and send your worksheet to the Google form. You may win a big prize later. For more information, please visit the Taoyuan ETRC website or Facebook page.
同学们听完本周的 podcast 后，欢迎投稿你们的学习单。投稿的 Google 表单连结，请见桃园市英语教学资源中心脸书或官方网站。只要投稿一次，就有一次抽奖机会，每次段考抽好礼，期末加码抽大礼。
Thank you so much for joining us today.
This program is sponsored and brought to you by Taoyuan ETRC.
See you next time. Goodbye.